Hello again, a very warm welcome to you all. My name is Deni Kay and I'm here today with a bottle of Ledaig, which was independently bottled by That Boutiquey Whisky Company. Was distilled in 2008 and bottled in 2020 at 50.3%, making this a 12-year-old whiskey. Now, Tobermory Distillery was founded in 1798. It is one of the, I guess you could say, older Scottish distilleries that is currently still operating. Now, was initially operating under the name of Ledaig, and then once again, like many distilleries in Scotland, changed ownership and then went through periods it was open and closed, reopened as Tobermory Distillery and known as Tobermory Distillery up until this day. The only distillery on the Isle of Mull obviously makes two expressions. One is unpeated, which is Tobermory, and then peated is Ledaig, which is usually peated to about 35 ppm. Now, as you can see on the label, so TWBC, you'll always see a rather interesting illustration. This one here is of a character that looks very much like Thor, a hammer-wielding warrior. I'm going to go through and give you my thoughts on this, and then I'm going to go on a mini rant, something that I will try not to complain too much about, but something I would like to see more of. Anyway, before I go on a bit of a rant and complain, I will say that I absolutely really do like this whiskey. I love the distillery, so for me, it's probably biased in that regard, but Tobermory Distillery is one of my absolutely favourite distilleries. Ledaig for me is one of my favourite peated whiskies. I'm a little bit fussy when it comes to peated whiskies, and I would say that Ledaig whiskey is just as good as anything coming out of Islay. There it is, I said it. Now, the colour itself is, you'd almost say gold to copper. Interesting in terms of the cask here, something I'll go through when I go through my little rant. Now, the nose, absolutely fantastic. Immediately, milk chocolate and nuts. Nuts for me predominantly are hazelnut, a little bit of peanut. Now, peanut is something that I don't find in a lot of whiskey, so it's a bit of a treat to be able to find something different like that. Some brine, some smoked fish as well, fantastic. Peat obviously is there, but it is a sweet peat along with some green olives. Absolutely fantastic, complex nose, very enjoyable. The peat is very smoky there. It's a campfire type of smoke, very large there on the arrival. Nose smoke was not as heavy hitting as it is there. Brine, some dried fruits. Smoked fish, once again, very oily, rich, what I would consider to be a fat dram. Mouthfeel is absolutely fantastic. 50.3% ABV. I will add a touch of water to this. There you go, a drop or two. Now, I'm enjoying this out of almost like a mini Glencairn, mini glass, which is actually from Tobermory Distillery. So a fitting time, I think, to be using this glass. Very creamy on the nose now, and far less influence from the smoke as well. Milk chocolate, absolutely fantastic with some of that brine there, a little bit of caramel, and the nuts still absolutely evident. So it's almost like salted caramel, chocolate, nuts. Sounds delicious, right? The smoke has taken a backseat. Dried fruits, milk chocolate, pretzels, smoked fish, green olives, that brine. It is absolutely fantastic. The smoke is still absolutely there. It's still, as I described earlier, and campfire type smoke. The finish is a medium to long finish, and Fantails, yeah, fantastic. Caramel chocolate. So fantails, candied ginger, and pepper. For me, it is an absolute perfectly peated whiskey. There's a sweet peat. There is a lot there that is going on. So as I said, for me, I absolutely love it. I think it is fantastic. My little rant now to come. I know that I'm sort of complaining a little bit here, but normally what I do like to see on the label, a little bit more information. Very whimsical in terms of the label and the stickers and everything that come there in the box. I prefer to see things like the distillation date, bottling date, cask type and everything along those lines. I know that it's quite simply just not part of what the bottler does. I tried to find some of the information online and I couldn't. So I know I'm barking up the wrong tree because it's quite simply just part of what the bottler does, and I know that that would appeal to a lot of people. I know I'm just complaining a little bit here, but I really would like to see a little bit more of that. So from what I could see, Palo Cortado cask. I would really like to know, is it a full maturation? Is it a finish? Because the only other whiskey that I've had out of the distillery that has spent some time in a Palo Cortado cask, a sherry cask. So it's not a sherry cask that is available in abundance, and is the 15-year-old, which was produced by a previous master blender, distiller Ian McMillan. And he has quite simply said that that 15-year-old, which was finished in Palo Cortado casks, and they only received a very small parcel of those casks, was one of the absolute best Tobermory's that he's ever had, and the best that he has produced. For me, it is one of my all-time favourites as well. And that is the only other whiskey out of the distillery I've had that's been in a PC cask. So once again, it would just be nice to know a little bit more about that. I know I'm complaining because the whiskey itself, just judging the whiskey itself, is so fantastic. So should any of that matter? Probably not. But being a bit of a whiskey nerd, it's always nice to be able to have more information than maybe you need. I know I'm going on a little bit of a rant here. For most people, probably absolutely irrelevant. But for those that it is relevant, well, thank you very much once again. I'll say cheers to you. Till next time.